As an act of reparation for her grandfather's treatment of her, Claire visits Crimson Lights and meets up with Kyle, giving him a present. Last night took care of him after Kyle opens the present. Claire tells him that the earphones are perfect and he kisses her. Claire feels guilty about convincing Kyle to go supper with her since Victor clearly won't give them a chance. Even Nikki was unable to convince Kyle last night, according to Claire, who claims that the ruse she orchestrated for her advantage last night backfired. Because of his deep-seated animosity for his father and the Abbott family, Kyle forewarned Jessica of this possibility. Despite Kyle's assurances that he won't frighten him away, Victor is determined to keep piling on the pressure until she caves in. Lily enters the property and immediately begins to muse on Victor's claim that he knows something about Damien Kane. According to what Victor tells her, he had what some would term a overnight success when it came to his career in business. He is a serious gentleman who thinks that by giving her the knowledge she needs, the tension between them might be eased. He is an intriguing person. Victor tells Lily about the two businesses he runs. He arrived in Los Angeles years ago without any money, and Lily wants to hear about them first. Victor claims he didn't establish the firms, but rather took them over. When Lily asks how he did it, he explains that he used certain methods. "I think that's the mystery," says Victor. After Lily frowns, Damon without any capital, Kane assumed control of two thriving businesses. Although Victor claims legal possession, Aristotle Dumas is the rightful owner. The Count of Monte Cristo was written by Alexander Dumas, as Lily remembers. Victor claims that a company named Arabesque is how Damon manages the businesses. According to Victor, this Dumas is either a very astute businessman or is involved in some dubious dealings, as he is always one step ahead of market changes. Despite feeling less informed about Damien now that Victor asks about her attraction in the guy, Lily appreciates Victor for addressing her inquiries. Nate wants to talk to his mother alone, but Damon isn't sure if that's because he's been thinking about it or because he's been putting himself in Nate's shoes. Damon has a meeting to attend, so he tells Nate to take as much time as they need, and Amy assures him that his mother will be fine. In his last moments with Damien, Nate mentions that he would also want to have a chat. As Damon nods, "You're next on my list." After Nate leaves, Damon approaches Amy and inquires, "What do you want from me?" With Nate and Audra, Amy is unsure about her actions. According to Damon, her response to his question could determine the course of events moving forward. All she wants is to know if her son, Oak, and Nate will be able to get to know each other and maybe even care for each other when she says goodbye. She has already asked for your forgiveness. Damien says that, if it ever occurs, it will take more than a few days. For the time being, however, let's not worry about anything but you and me. With a nod, Amy, it would be cheap for Damien to tell her he forgives her and is sorry he left her now. Instead, he should be honest with her and stay with her until the end, comforting her as she passes away. Whether she dies in Chicago or somewhere else, he should tell her that he is sorry. Come on, Mom. Amy would never want him to prolong his life for her. It would be nice if he could be there for her at the end, but she wouldn't demand it. Even though Amy knows Damien is being truthful when he says he forgives her, he still wants to know how she can tell. According to Damon, "You no longer know me very well." Amy assures him that if he has children, he will understand. She only has to look into his eyes to see the reality. Bond, shedding tears, Damon agrees, but Amy begs him to forgive her nevertheless, since she doesn't see how they became so apart and wants to know what she did wrong. Amy always felt her son blamed her for Jackson's death because Damien yells, "You let my father die now." It seems like she's taken him away all over again. Damien doesn't hold her responsible for the illness, but he does accuse her of being emotionally distant and uncaring towards the end. Amy denies this, but he maintains that it appeared like she continued with her life as usual. Damon reveals that he, too, had skipped school to be with his dad, so he wasn't alone if he felt Jackson's absence. "That's my reason," he says. "I was just a kid, Mom, and you left me alone to watch my father die." Amy is shocked to hear this, but Damon explains that he had skipped school to be with his dad. Does he want to know why Amy was always withdrawing from herself? Damien nods in agreement.